So here we go once again, and this roller coaster ride, just for the emotional side of all of the medical and changes that has to go along with it, is one whole aspect. But all it takes is getting bad service or made to feel like there's such a huge disconnect. We've had multiple things that have happened, but I am so livid right now with the lack of communication, the disregard for the patient care, and all of this is circumventing all the positives. Everything that has happened up to this point that was benefiting my mother is now working against her, and you can't get an answer because the people in the hospital, the nurses and the doctors, all work on their own schedule, and they don't care when you come and you have questions or have concerns that need to be addressed. And what happens is they make a decision that is not in the interest of the best care of that patient, nor their family communicated well enough to where the confusion that comes out causes the frustration. It causes this type of reaction to where you think you are in control of how and what my mother is doing. And I don't believe that to be true. If you are unwilling to have a conversation with me when I show up, when I can call, when I'm available, then I have a problem that I can't make that communication with you. But how dare you say that I haven't done my job, that I haven't talked to people in medical services, when in fact I have, that I hadn't arranged for a bed for her to be discharged, when in fact I had. Every time I get the notice that she's going to be discharged, it is a up, down, all around conversation that takes place and end up ultimately not happening. She wasn't released on Thursday last week as we expected. She wasn't released on Friday. So Saturday, I spent the night to find out what was the holdup, what was going on. She wasn't released on Sunday, and guess what? Here we are on Monday, and suddenly you want to say I didn't make the arrangements? How the hell was I supposed to make the arrangements if you didn't have a freaking clue? The point is, you have been absolutely neglectful in talking with me as her daughter, as her point of care, and as her contact. Authorized. You say you've been calling me? I've been on my phone. I have all of the records of when I've made my calls to Kettering. Why doesn't Kettering have all of the records of when they've been receiving those calls? I can't help that. I can't do their job, but I can advocate for the timely discharge of my mother to her best interest. Yes, I was fully expecting it today. The problem was that if she was released today and then had to turn around and come back for an oncology follow-up visit tomorrow, that didn't seem to make sense. So I'd already reached out to the oncology department to say, hey, can we move her appointment to the end of the week to give her some time to balance back and get into a norm at the home? Haven't yet gotten an answer to that through their email, left a voice message, all the things that I physically can do, mind you, but haven't yet gotten a response. Here it is, 10:31 now on Monday, and now I'm being told she needs to have a blood transfusion. Well, how the hell do you release somebody when they're going to get a blood transfusion? And by the way, that isn't scheduled yet. You don't know when it's going to happen. The last time, you don't know how she's going to react to it. So how are you discharging her today and doing that type of service? Okay, you say you can do blood transfusions and the patient be dismissed the same day. But in her care, in her case, in her condition, is that a legitimate thing to think? So don't think I'm going all off, half-assed or anything like that when I have to drive down to the hospital to try to have a conversation. And then your head nurse, your nurse in duty, and your doctor who just was in the room, nobody wants to come back while I'm there to have a conversation. So guess what? You are not the final say. She does have Medicaid Part A, and she is going to appeal her right to be discharged because it does not work for her patient care. My mother is currently sitting there anxious, upset, confused, and concerned, not understanding, how do I get a blood transfusion that takes a couple of hours and I don't know what's going on? Why am I being released today? That's her conversation. I'm not having this battle in front of her. I'm having this battle with you now, because you have pushed me to the point where you say I haven't done something that I needed to do, when in fact every day I have done something. I've done something proactively to try to make sure she was taken care of, including coming to the hospital and staying the night with her so I could confirm whether or not she actually needed a BiPAP machine that your person said, oh, it's time for your treatment, instead of asking or diagnosing. So don't tell me I'm not doing my job. You do a better job at yours. And that means communicating to the patient's family so that they understand what is going on. And instead of blaming them, maybe you take responsibility for where you have failed. That's it. You caused this to happen. Now I'm happy to take your phone calls when you get my number right and when you can document it in your system.